Back here on a special edition of Sports Overtime from Atlanta, Georgia. Gerhard, Mathangani, Simone, Eli joining you as we count down to the College Football Playoff National Championship game. Tomorrow, Notre Dame and Ohio State will go head-to-head, and Fairhope-native Riley Leonard will be at the center of college football as he has been for the last month.
Yeah, it's the biggest stage ever, and he is not afraid to use his platform to talk about what's really important to him. Riley Leonard is a strong man of faith. That started way before his days over in South Bend. It's really started his days back in high school there at Fairhope.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, prior to South Bend, it was Duke, and then prior to Duke, it was Fairhope, Alabama, where Riley grew up, went through elementary school, middle school, then Fairhope High School, and throughout his entire journey, Riley has let his faith lead him through his football journey. We've seen him have setbacks and injuries, and he has publicly spoken regularly about his faith, how much it's meant to him, and people like Parker Sanders, who has served on the FCA there at Fairhope for quite some time, not surprised by Riley using his platform to speak his faith.
Yeah, we all know about the FCA and what a platform it is for athletes to be able just to use what they have. And they have the megaphone. Not figuratively sometimes, but sometimes figuratively. And he does on a lot of occasions, Riley Leonard does. But his days as an FCA leader started way back in high school. He's able to pronounce his faith there, and he's taken that with him through college. We got a chance to talk to Parker Sanders about what it means to him to see Riley profess his faith on the national level.
We all knew here that he was a great athlete, but he is an exceptional person. And not just being a good person, but he is a Christ follower, and he walks it. He doesn't just talk it, he walks it. And I think people are starting to see that now since he's getting the national spotlight, but we knew that from middle school. And he's kind of shared his testimony a lot about how he kind of started figuring out his faith and following Christ since middle school.
Great stuff there. And Parker actually does a podcast called Jake and Friends, and Riley Leonard, throughout his busy schedule as a student athlete, found some time to go on Jake and Friends. You can find that wherever you get your podcast.
And that is just one example of many where Riley has regularly shown time and commitment to the people of Fairhope. Gerhard, we had a chance to speak with so many community members. And one big example of Riley's faith in speaking to his character as well is his relationship with Fairhope assistant coach Brett Horne and his family. Brett is the father of two daughters, Caitlin and Emmeline. His daughter Caitlin was diagnosed with spina bifida at a very young age, inspiring the Fairhope Pirate football team to host an annual game which benefits children with disabilities in the Fairhope community. And while Riley has played a pivotal role in inspiring so many young people there in Fairhope, he also continues to wear this bracelet that Brett Horne gave us, and he gave one to Riley many, many years ago. Riley wears it for every single game. He did at Duke. He does now at Notre Dame. It says spina bifida awareness, in honor of those who fight through the condition, and of course a big representation of the Fairhope community and what it means to him. I had the chance to speak with Brett Horne on how much Riley means to his family.
His faith has always been the first and foremost for him, and you know, that's something that I think just takes over, because he knows that if football went away tomorrow, he's still got a future, you know, because God will provide for him. And that's kind of, you can see how he approaches it. And that's kind of, if you approach life like that, I mean, that's why he's always very positive. I know he's had some, he had some injuries and had some down times, and he could have just gotten down and out, but he kept pushing forward. And, like they always talk about, I know they talked about.
And we so appreciate Brett Horne and his daughters for sharing their story. I'll have that complete story tomorrow as we count down to kickoff here in Atlanta. Really a must-see story, because, wow, Riley Leonard has truly impacted so many people, Gerhard.
Yeah, we got a chance to talk to them behind the scenes, and just a truly incredible story. And it's great to see Riley still holding that community and that family up, not only in his prayers, but through his actions, and as well showing support with that bracelet.
Yeah, and we cannot wait to see Riley on the big stage. But then shortly thereafter, he'll make his way back to the Gulf Coast as he plays in the Senior Bowl. Jim Nagy and his staff invited Riley, committed to the game several weeks ago. And wow, now he's on playing for a national championship. What an incredible story. We're going to see him there in Mobile in just a few short weeks.
Yeah, what a job by Jim Nagy, being able to get some superstar quarterbacks to be able to come to Mobile, including the two quarterbacks that were play for the national championship. I think a lot of people thought at the beginning of the season you might find Alabama's Jalen Milroe in this championship game, but he's coming to the Senior Bowl as well. But it's Will Howard as well as Riley Leonard, two guys that will compete for championship and then compete for a top spot in the upcoming draft in the spring. We got a chance to catch up with Jim Nagy, the executive director of the Senior Bowl, about inviting these two guys to Mobile.
Well, it's huge. They're on the national stage, so more people are seeing them. You know, everyone down here knows Riley, but I'm sure, you know, going into the college football playoff, not a lot of people down here knew a ton about Will Howard. We did. We almost invited him last year. I actually called him, and he was on his flight to Columbus, Ohio, to sign with Ohio State. But, yeah, so it's been fun watching Will on the Rose Bowl stage and doing it. He's really playing his best football these last couple of weeks. So, yeah, that's big.
So even if you can't catch Riley here in the national championship game, you'll be able to catch him there at Hancock Whitney Stadium for the Senior Bowl on February 1st.
We cannot wait, and we cannot wait for the big one here in Atlanta. Before all of that, of course, kickoff will be tomorrow. Coming up next on the show, we'll have one final look at this game, what the matchup entails, and hear from both head coaches as we look forward to college football's national championship game at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We'll be right back.